This is On the Record, and of course, I'm Cody Thomas. Donna Adelson's verdict came down last week, but the conclusion was too big not to dig into deeper. Now, for anyone who missed it or wants to see how the story ended, here's week 2, the final act in the downfall of Donna Adelson. Now, the week kicked off with powerful testimony from investigators and undercover agents. Jurors heard the bump audio when the FBI confronted Donna face to face and listened to her reaction as Charlie pressed her about who was involved.
All right, what's the bump?
The bump is where we took an undercover agent and had him approach Mrs. Adelson with a plan. It was during the time of the investigation. We had evidence that linked Luis Rivera and Sigfredo Garcia to being the actual hitmen.
And was the goal to identify, if the pattern that we're seeing that we think is the members of the conspiracy, is that right? Who's a member of the conspiracy and what are their roles?
Yeah, we had Luis Rivera, Sigfredo Garcia would talk, and then Sigfredo Garcia talked to Catherine McManus through the phones. Catherine McManus would talk to Charlie Adelson through phones. Charlie Adelson would talk to Donna Adelson.
Excuse me, Mrs. Adelson? How you doing? Just want to give you this. Listen. Good, don't be scared.
Does she make any phone calls once she goes back into her building?
When she goes back into her building, she does.
And who is the first person that the defendant calls after the bump?
Charlie Adelson.
What is the bump letter?
It was a letter that we had mailed to the Adelson residence at the Icon. It's reportedly from the undercover agent.
Just hear me out. Okay? If you don't know who the person is, it's a much bigger problem. If you know who it is, it's very, very easy. Okay? Right. And you always, you guys are notorious for always getting worked up over everything throughout. As long as I've known it, it's always been, it's always been everything's a big deal. Gotta get worked up about everything. Everything is a huge deal. And I'm just saying, so this is no different, but I'm just telling you, stop, because it's not anything more than nonsense. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything to anybody. Somebody is fishing. Let them fish. They know too that you don't have nothing to do with anything.
Erica called me and she said, I didn't normally bother you with this. She said, I don't think they'll call or what, but somebody called this morning and he said his name was Sammy and he gave you some very important papers last week and he hasn't heard from you. And he wants you to call him back and here's the number. So,
okay. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to call them and star 67 my number. Okay. And I'm gonna. I have a strong feeling what I think it is. Okay. I think it may be either some private investigator, or I think it's the FBI, or somebody just trying to fish around and stir the pot.
Does Charlie call the undercover?
Yes, he does.
Someone's been calling my family and trying to figure out who this is. Someone by the name of Sandy call.
Yeah, that's me, man.
What's going on?
Sandy was taking care of Katie and Tuco, and nothing's been taken care of without her. So we know what's going on.
Donna Adelson is going to call the undercover number.
That's correct.
And does she do that?
She does.
Do you have evidence, independent of the wire, that the defendant downloaded some software to record this call on her own?
Yes.
Hello?
this is Mrs. Adelson. You told me I need to call you and help your friend who is in prison. I don't know your friend who is in jail. I know I lost my ex-son-in-law. I did not have anything to do with it. And I don't know what you are talking about. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Now, day 6 belonged to the FBI. Agent Patrick Sanford testified that Catherine McManus admitted Charlie first raised the idea of a hit.
Was there anything that Ms. Magbanawa revealed it. That was new to us.
Yes, she told us about the first time that Mr. Charlie Adelson approached her and asked her if she knew someone that could take care of someone. She told us about the night of the homicide that she was going to Mr. Adelson's residence, and she believed that the Adelsons had been there.
So she admitted that she went to Charlie's house to pick up the money.
That's correct.
Was there a recorded call that was intercepted between Charlie Adelson and his mother, Donna Adelson?
There was a jail call with Mr. Adelson, and at some point he dropped off the call. She thought the call had hung up, so she just apparently set her phone down and didn't hit end on her end of the line.
Then came the jail calls. Donna's voice, anxious about extradition and even mentioning a one-way ticket out of the country.
We've been looking it up over and over. If things change, if there is extradition from Vietnam. Because we've looked at all the places. I mean, I could go to Korea and China, but there's no extradition. But we're looking for places where there's no extradition.
There appear to be some plans to potentially go to Vietnam. Are you familiar with that?
They were to go through Dubai, then to Vietnam.
Is Vietnam, in fact, a non-extradition country?
It is.
Is that a one-way flight or a round-trip flight?
It was a one-way flight. We had a lot of persons of interest throughout the case.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you a number, but there was numerous.
How long were there numerous persons of interest before you were focused in on the Adelson family?
About a year.
All you know about leaving town comes from the phone call and your source who tells you that they booked a flight, right?
That's correct.
But you did learn at some point in this investigation that they actually had the plan to return because one of their grandsons, one of Mr. Markel's children, had a scheduled bar mitzvah, and they were coming back for that, right?
I had heard that. I don't know.
There was no warrant.
That is correct.
From the date that Mr. Markel was murdered, all of the investigation that took place, right?
Yes.
It's not until the time that she has this trip, that she's going out of the country, that a warrant is obtained.
That's correct.
Without a warrant, she's free to travel.
That's correct.
And you're aware as part of the investigation that someone else actually called the state attorney's office on the day that she traveled and asked the question because they were concerned about them leaving the country. And Jason Newland at the state attorney's office said, there's no warrant, she's free to travel.
I'm not aware of that one.
Now the defense reminded the jury there's no direct order from Donna to kill Dan Markel. But prosecutors brought in a jailhouse informant who said Donna admitted she did it to keep her grandkids.
You found no direct connection between Donna Adelson and Sigfredo Garcia, correct?
Correct.
And you found no direct connection between Donna Adelson and Luis Rivera, correct?
Correct.
There's no direct connection between Katie Magbanawa and Donna Adelson, is there?
Correct.
Did Donna Adelson ever say that she wanted Danny Markel to be killed?
Those exact words?
Those words. Did she say she wants him killed?
No.
Did she say she was planning to have him killed?
No.
Did you ever outright ask her whether she did what she's accused of?
She said she did. It was to keep her grandkids, but it wasn't supposed to go that far.
Now on day 7, the jury got more undercover recordings, more wiretaps, and even testimony about the Adelson's family phone patterns after the murder.
With respect to Mrs. Adelson and your observations of her over these, 15 years, have you found her to be a hateful person?
Never.
Is she aggressive towards others?
Never.
Have you ever heard her threaten anyone?
Never.
Have you ever seen her harm anyone?
Never.
Have you ever heard her threaten to have somebody harmed?
No.
You were friends with her, obviously, when Wendy was going through her divorce.
Yes.
Did she ever say she wanted to have Danny Markel killed?
Never.
Ever say she wanted him to be harmed?
Never.
She got upset, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and how is it that she displayed her anger over that situation?
She would be frustrated, and then she would calm down.
During that time period, did she ever do anything other than vent to you about it?
Never.
Did she ever claim she was going to do anything about
Never.
it? The date that Danny Markel was murdered, that was July the 18th of 2014. Do you recall speaking to Mrs. Adelson on that date?
Yes, I do. I was called, and Donna was quite hysterical. She told me that Danny had been shot, and that they were going to Tallahassee, and that she was very concerned and worried about Wendy and the boys.
You were speaking to Mrs. Adelson after the verdict came out about her son being convicted, correct?
Yes.
Was she upset about that?
Yes. She was considering taking her own life.
During Charlie's trial, can you describe Donna and Harvey's state of mind, how they were feeling about things?
To put it mildly, extremely upset, off the wall.
What do you mean when you say off the wall?
He was devastated. His son was convicted.
Did you become aware that Harvey and Donna were trying to travel to clear their heads?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know whether or not that was a permanent move or was it temporary?
It was, to the best of my knowledge, a temporary move. It was approximately November, and they were coming back in January or February for their youngest grandchild's bar mitzvah.
Under any set of circumstances, would they not have returned?
Under normal circumstances, they would move heaven and earth to be there for that traditional occasion.
How many times did Charlie Adelson's device attempt to communicate with Donna Adelson's device?
I got maybe 383 unique call events. And I went through each line by line, and removed manually any rows that I believed to be referencing the same call event.
The failure to manually go through these records resulted in an overinflated report in these frequency reports.
Yes.
Day 8 shifted to the defense. Wendy Adelson's divorce attorney told the jury that the split between her and Dan Markel wasn't bitter, just routine.
Your work as a family law attorney, did you have occasion to represent Wendy Adelson?
I did represent Wendy Adelson in the end of 2012, I believe it was, 2013, and part of 2014.
Would you call her divorce a bitter custody battle?
I would not.
Now, did the marital settlement agreement require that Mr. Markel pay Wendy and yourself certain sums?
He was supposed to pay me $10,000 in attorney's fees because he made a lot more money than Wendy did. He was supposed to pay her $120,000, all within 60 days.
Did Mr. Markel pay the sums that he was obligated to pay under the settlement agreement?
He was supposed to transfer, if I remember, from one of his Charles Schwab accounts to Wendy, the money. He gave her $50,000 of the $120 in a pretty timely basis, and then he just didn't pay the rest.
Another family law expert said the same thing, calling the case amicable. But prosecutors shot back. They said that custody battles are never that simple. Then Donna's former attorney revealed her client once spoke of ending her life after Charlie's conviction.
How did the Adelson-Markel divorce compare across the variety of cases that you've handled?
Simply, it was routine, it was amicable.
You would not say that divorce and child custody issues are emotionally charged?
They can be, but in this case, they weren't.
They weren't? How do you know?
From the pleadings, because I don't have 10,000 pages in front of me.
You're not in the mind of the people whose lives are impacted by these pleadings. It's not just about pieces of paper and a binder, is it?
I don't think that's what I said.
During that time period when her son was on trial and shortly after, did you have some concerns based on statements that she was making?
Concerns about Mrs. Adelson's mental state, yes.
Yes. Can you tell us what those were?
She had made numerous statements about terminating her life if her son Charlie Adelson was convicted.
During the trial or after the verdict, did you disclose to anyone in the state attorney's office that Miss Adelson was suicidal?
Of course I didn't. No, I had an attorney-client privilege relationship with her, and I don't think that would have been appropriate.
Sure. And why was she suicidal?
Because her son had just been convicted, and she was worried he was going to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Was she also worried about getting convicted herself?
I don't believe that was even crossed her mind. She was only worried about her son.
And in the end, Donna Adelson herself had to make the decision on whether or not she would take the stand.
As it relates to your right to remain silent and your right to testify, what is your decision concerning these two rights?
This time I don't want to testify.
And now, closing arguments. Prosecutors pointed to the checks Donna signed, the sting operation, and the web of testimony linking her to the conspiracy.
Well, this is Dan Markell. He's the victim in this case. A dedicated and loving father whose downfall was brought about by the fact that his number one priority was maximizing his time with those little boys in the wake of a bitter divorce. You have learned about this conspiracy and how it has unraveled over the last 11 years since Dan Markell's death. The defendants in this case have all attempted to point fingers at each other. And within 1 hour of the shooting, well before Professor Markell had even been pronounced dead, this path was already pointing to the defendant when Wendy Adelson revealed to officers that her parents had more reason to dislike her ex than anyone else. Rob Adelson also noted a complete lack of curiosity on the part of his mother about this murder in the family. When he asked what the defendant thought happened to Danny, she said, quote, "I don't know and I don't care. It doesn't concern me." The undercover approaches Donna and hands her a piece of paper. When Charlie asked Donna on State's 99 Call A, "Does it involve me or other people?" Well, probably both of us. 44 checks to the killer, signed by Donna Adelson. Catherine Magbanua admits she was in a plot to kill Dan Markell. And she got 44 checks, and they were all signed by this woman.
Now, my client did say ugly things about Danny Markell. She called Danny a major. She called him a royal, a piece of a crazy, a bastard, and she called him Elvis. You call somebody some bad names, and that means you wanted them dead? Danny Markell was killed on July the 18th of 2014, and Mrs. Adelson, according to Agent Sanford, was a person of interest, but she was not arrested in 2014. 2015, she was not arrested. In 2016, they conducted the bump operation against Donna Adelson, and still, even though others were arrested, Donna Adelson was not arrested. She was not arrested in 2017. She was not arrested in 2018. She was not arrested in 2019 or 20 or 21 or 22. Not a single email, no phone calls that are recorded, no written documents, no emails, not one single thing that said anything about wanting Danny Markell killed. The most aggressive thing they have are her foul words and wanting to aggravate him. They cannot prove she had him killed. At the time that he was killed, she had paid anybody or asked anybody to do it.
And then the moment nearly a decade in the making.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count one of the indictment: first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
The judge told Donna Adelson her actions caused immense devastation, and Dan Markell's father asked one searing question.
I asked the court sentence Donna Adelson to the maximum possible sentence. And my only short question to Donna, was it worth it?
So, week 2 ended with a guilty verdict, a shattered family, and the final chapter in a case that has gripped Florida for nearly a decade. Or is it the final chapter? Is Wendy Adelson next? And with that, I'm Cody Thomas. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, and join me next time we go back on the record.